Good morning. It is 5:43 p.m. and I have been so tired all day. I slept for 10 hours and all I want to do today is nap and rest and sleep, and it makes me feel insane. So I looked up videos about PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, because I don't know everything about it. It's usually self-diagnosable, and as soon as I found out about it, I knew that that's what I had. So I looked up videos so that I can see how other people experience it so that I don't feel so alone. And it helped because, knowing that I'm not crazy and that it's not just me, makes me feel like, okay, it's not my fault. And it's very easy for me to blame myself during this phase of every month. So I thought that maybe making a video about it would make someone feel comforted, or maybe even help someone discover that they have it themselves, because women are so understudied. Women's health is so understudied. We are not taught anything unless we have a health class, and that's like maybe once. like we are not taught extensively about our cycles, our hormones. And if we are, we're like kids and like not old enough to really retain that information. Because I didn't know that there was different phases of the period or the menstrual cycle until this year. And I was 25 when I found out, 26 now. And I didn't know that PMDD existed until this year. And knowing this sooner would have provided a lot of relief, but I also don't blame anyone for not knowing because it was so under-researched, and doctors, even psychiatrists, even like misdiagnose it a lot. It gets misdiagnosed as bipolar disorder, or I think sometimes BPD, but because the symptoms overlap so heavily, right? So premenstrual dysphoric disorder is during your luteal phase, so the 2 weeks before your period, you have severe PMS. I knew what PMS was. I knew what PMSing was, and I always knew I had PMS, right? But the part about PMDD that makes it PMDD versus just regular PMS was something that I blamed on myself and I thought was me. So every month since I started my period, because it's 2 weeks out of the month, right? So 2 weeks out of the month, I am in shambles. I get really low. It's a dysphoric disorder. So my sense of reality is completely warped. My emotions are extremely intense. And I am very prone and have been very prone to suicidal ideation since I started my period at 12 years old. And at first I would self-harm because of it. And I self-harmed for years because I blamed myself for all these emotions, and blaming myself extensively and it happening over and over and over and over again. This intense sadness made me feel like this is all my life is going to be. And it kept happening into my adulthood. And then I moved to Los Angeles and things got slightly better, but I was drinking all the time. So I also blamed my intense sadness and depression on alcohol. It was only when I got sober this year that I realized I'm not drinking alcohol anymore. I am no longer a kid. I'm not in my toxic household. Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel so mentally and emotionally unstable? why do I want to end my life? And to the point where it got so scary that I was like, maybe this is it. Because a huge thing was like, this always happens. It's never going to end. I'm always going to be like this. Like, why does it keep happening? And it continuing to happen made me lose more and more hope, because I'm like, wow, it's really never going to change. Like, the day is just going to come where it happens. And the truth is that I was really tired of it. Really, really tired of it. And I should have put a trigger warning. I'm so sorry. Fuck. I should have put a trigger warning. Oh. Warhead wrapper. But I'm sorry for not putting a trigger warning. I'm really, really, really sorry. I don't know what to do. Should I end the video? I'll put it in the title, I think. I'm sorry, but this is just to be very transparent about my current experience, because like it just kept happening, and to the point where I got treatment for it, or I had to talk to a psychiatrist about it, right? Because I knew enough and I have built enough spiritual health to realize like, that's not what I want to do. At my core, I don't want to do that. I know the blessings that I hold and have, and like something's just wrong with me. So I got diagnosed with ADHD, and I thought that was going to solve everything. I was like, oh, that's why I'm frustrated. That's why I have low self-esteem. That's why I get depressed, because untreated ADHD also has those symptoms. But I started my ADHD treatment and started an antidepressant for my mood, because I also mentioned my mood. And I was okay for a while, but then it happened again. And to the point where I talked to my psychiatrist again, and I was like, hey, like things are great in the focus and frustration department, but like what about like the intense sadness and depression? What about like the part where I like wanna? And he was like, he asked me a couple questions, which like, and I answered honestly to them. And he was like, okay, you have bipolar 2 disorder. We're going to start you on an antipsychotic. And I was like, great, nice. Or a mood stabilizer. I was like, okay, awesome. Let me try it. And I tried it for like a couple days, like 3 days. And I started getting really dizzy and, like to the point where I had to call paramedics because I like literally thought I was gonna faint. It's so insane. But like, I was like, oh my gosh, is it really bipolar? Like, if it's bipolar, like how did I have it as a kid? How does that explain having it as a kid? But I wasn't so introspective that I like completely denied it, but I did stop taking that medication. And then a few days before my next appointment, I saw a video saying that I think like 40% of girls with ADHD also have PMDD. And I was like, which is very debilitating. And I was like, PMDD? And then I looked it up, and lo and behold, it's every symptom. Every single symptom that I have been experiencing since I was a wee child. And like, the magic in knowing is that I don't have to blame myself for it anymore. And like, let me read you the symptoms of PMDD so that I don't misquote PMDD symptoms. So it says, depressed mood, anxiety, irritability, mood swings, feeling overwhelmed or out of control, breast tenderness or swelling, bloating, headache, joint or muscle pain, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, confusion, changes in appetite, increased or decreased, sleep disturbances, insomnia or excessive sleeping, withdrawal from social activities, increased risk of suicidal thoughts or behaviors. And it says in parentheses, rare. Girl, I've been having it for years. I'm special, I guess. Hot flashes, nausea, vomiting. are also possible side effects. But I just looked something up. I saw a video on TikTok saying that this is really horrible, but I think it's good to share because then it makes you feel, I think, a little bit less crazy, at least if you have it as severely as I do. But a part of it is the suicide rate for PMDD. There's high rates of suicidal thoughts and behaviors. A 2022 study of women with prospectively confirmed PMDD found strikingly high lifetime rates. 72% reported active suicidal ideation, and 34% reported a suicide attempt. A 2024 study of women with a self-reported PMDD diagnosis found similar rates, with 82% reporting suicidal thoughts and 26% reporting having attempted suicide at least once. And from the video I saw, it said that I think 30% of women, I don't know if with ideation or with PMDD, have like succeeded in those attempts. So it's like, oh shit, like my world crashing down and getting that horrible and depressing and catastrophic and feeling like the world is gonna end is a shared experience, okay? It's a shared experience. If you share this experience, you are not alone. I slept a lot and I just want to keep sleeping. It's all I want to do. Like my heart is just like pounding from like exhaustion. And I'm like, something's wrong. Like I literally can't get myself to do anything. Like what is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And like, it's so easy for me to cry. And then I just feel so bad for Monty as well, because during these weeks, like I turn into a different person that is just like everything is so heavy, and I get irritated and frustrated with everything, and I'm sensitive to everything, noises, smells, like anything. And like there are, I feel like, little ways to make me feel better. Like when he pets me, I feel better. When I get hugged, I feel better and stuff. But like it's really difficult, you know? It's good if I'm kept distracted for a while. Like for example, yesterday I had a friend come over and we were all just like hanging out and talking all day, and that felt nice. Like I didn't think about my PMDD really. But that's usually also something I can't do because I don't want to socialize with anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to do anything but exist. And even that sometimes is like, I don't want to. So it is a pretty insane and intense experience to experience every month for 2 weeks. But it said, I watched a video of a doctor talking about this, and he said that it's because a hormone is getting released that makes others feel maternal, but for people with PMDD, it like puts them in an altered state, and it makes them feel murderous. Like it is temporary insanity. So it's soothing and comforting and maternal for other women or like people without PMDD, but for PMDD women, it puts you in like insanity. I mean, how do I explain this? I'm like quoting it so horribly, but that's the premise of it, is that you are experiencing temporary insanity. And then once your period comes, you're yourself again, and you're recovering for 2 weeks, and then you're normal for 1 week, which is your ovulation period. And then the cycle repeats. And he goes out of his way to like say like, you're not crazy. You're not insane. It's your brain chemistry. It's how your brain is reacting to these hormones and chemicals, and it's not your fault. It's just how your hormones are affecting your brain, because PMDD brains accept those hormones or process those hormones differently than the typical brain if you don't have PMDD, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm also wondering if like that's why I don't have a maternal bone in my body. Like I love being generous to my friends and my sisters and like my mom and my pet, but that's as much as I can do. Like having a kid or like even thinking of having a kid overwhelms me so much that I'm like, girl, I don't think so in this lifetime. But so I'm wondering if that's why. But let me talk about how it is for me. I mean, this is like very dark, but I just started treating my PMDD. One way to treat it is to take SSRIs, which is a type of depressant or antidepressant, during only your luteal phase. So I just started taking Prozac only during my luteal phase. And it has been helping. I have not had in like, I think 3 months, a depressive or like suicidal episode, which like beforehand, I was having it every single month. I was having it every single month. And it was a really, really, really bad and really, really scary. I mean, especially for like the people around me and the people that love me, you know? But lately I've been chilling. The only thing is that like now I'm aware of it and now I'm like more stable, but I still do experience like the exhaustion, the crying spells, the bloating, the fatigue, just like everything is still there other than the suicidal ideation. And if it does pop in, it's not something I entertain like heavily. It's just like it's like a rushing thought, right? But like the way it is for me now that I'm aware of it and now that I can like notice like how it has like affected me is like you questioned your entire, there's a day. I'm chilling, I'm amazing. There's a day where suddenly like someone breathing pisses me off. And I get hot flashes and I start getting like whiny. I'm just whining. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like literally annoying. And me being annoying annoys me. And so that's when I'm like, let me check my cycle. Let me check my period app. And then I check and lo and behold, it's my luteal phase. I'm in it. So that's how it shows up for me. Everything annoys me. Everything frustrates me. Everything makes me upset. I can't handle anything and I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's like the murderous tendency that it makes you feel, and not towards other people. It's just that it doesn't, like your body doesn't process it in like a soothing, like comforting way. It's like, get the fuck out of here, stop. Like that's how my brain is processing that hormone, if that makes sense. So like literally anything is like, yo. And the way that my sleep is affected is that I sleep a lot. Like I can sleep all night. I can take a 4-hour nap in the day and then I can sleep early and sleep all night again. And appetite sometimes is there. Appetite is sometimes not there. I cry a lot, especially if I'm like around someone I feel safe with, especially Monty. I just like cry. I just cry. I just sob. I just want to cry. And it feels good to release. Because I'm sure it's like a form of, I mean, it is a form of releasing cortisol, but I'm sure my body just needs it during this phase, like to release some stress. But I cry. I cry a lot. I cry every day. I have really negative thoughts. I question everything. I question every choice I've made. I'm like, is this right? Is this right? And I question my worth. I question, I try to like push Monty away, you know, and like not on purpose, but like I have such low self-esteem that I'm like, you can't, I don't want you to deal with this. Like you need, like, this isn't right for you. Like you are amazing. Like I'm not right for you. I'm too much. Right. And so it's just 2 weeks of that. And I feel like it builds up until I get my period, which is like, right now I can say like, yeah, it's making me feel better seeing these videos, but there's always a moment, or there has been moments where like I reach a point of despair that feels like a point of no return, and that's usually when the ideation happens. And I'm like, no, like it's never gonna get better. Like this is always how it's gonna be. No matter like how self-aware I am, no matter how much I know about this topic now, like it still happens because your fucking brain is being hijacked. And like it's just a chemical response, you know? And I can't control the chemical response. I can try to alleviate it by like making things easy on myself, working with my phase, knowing that during my luteal phase, I just need to chill and relax. I just need to rely on the comfort of myself and my loved ones and just be, and hopefully communicate with my loved ones so that they can understand that this is what I'm going through. But it's honestly really hard to explain to someone if they don't know about the phase already. It kind of sounds like an excuse a little bit. Because for example, I have a bunch of guy friends and I'm like, okay guys, so like for 2 weeks before my period, I get really, really like really down bad and like really depressed and like super low, and it's like a disorder, so just like bear with me. I don't know, I feel like it kind of does sound like an excuse, but it's so real. And so that's why I almost like haven't like explained it to anyone, because I mean, as a girl, you kind of just learn to put up with shit. I've been putting up with this shit since I was 12, and like nobody knows. I've never wanted attention during this phase. Nobody ever knew what I was going through except for like my family who witnessed everything, you know? And it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. But like, I always like hid this part of myself, or I would always keep this part of myself to myself because I don't want to weird anyone out. And I don't want to make anyone be like, okay, like, whoa, you're high maintenance. Like, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to love you, like, whatever. Obviously, I'm surrounded by people now that I like feel safe to share that kind of stuff with. But even like my mom, like telling her or my dad about this stuff, it's like they don't know about periods extensively. They don't know about PMDD. They've never heard of it. So even explaining it to them, like my mom's like, oh, like, yeah, everyone has their own thing. Like, everyone's built differently. Like, you know, yeah, women have hormones. I'm like, no, mom, it's like severe. Like, you need to know how serious it is. Like, please. I don't even think I've told my dad. Like, it's just like something I'm like, how can I explain it if I barely know it myself? But like, I need to make this video because it's something that is so not talked about, and it's so under researched, and or at least under discussed, because how did I find out this late? I know little girls in middle school and high school that went through the same thing that I did are not being told, oh, you might have PMDD, let's help you with this. I feel like people with PMDD, people with any sort of period disorder or ovarian disorder or anything that is debilitating needs help. Like, we need to take work off on those fucking weeks or on those days. Or people with extremely horrible periods. I know people who, like, during their periods, they faint and they throw up and they're just, like, not okay. They cannot even remember their period. And their period getting that bad is like, oh, we're just supposed to shut up and take it? Like, every single month? Come on now. Like, seriously, like, where's the justice? Where's the justice? Guys, this is insane. But it's like, I'm like, can I research this more? Can I, like, something lovely that I did is download this app named Belle, or called Belle, so Belle, and it's a period tracker app. But you can also put if you have ADHD, PMDD, any sort of other disorder, and you also log your daily symptoms, and you can share that data with people who are studying PMDD and all of these things. So I'm like, okay, let me make sure I log daily what I'm doing so that hopefully this reaches like research papers, this reaches scientists, whoever's studying this topic, so that it can get shared, because like more people need to know about this. so insane, and I'm so lucky. I mean, Monty's my best friend, and he's with me all the time, and I'm so lucky that he has the empathy and patience to understand and learn about this so that he knows what I need during this phase, and so that I feel seen during this phase, and so that I don't crash out during this phase. And like, I sent him some of the videos I watched today, and just for example, this is what his response was. He said, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. I'm very glad we learned what it is, though, so you're not as hard on yourself, and I understand you better. And I was like, yeah, it makes me so sad I didn't know before and that I blamed myself. And he was like, thankfully you can forgive now. It's fucked up. I'm so surprised how much lack of medical attention the condition gets. I said, me too. He said, you'd think it would be super heavily researched at this point. And I was like, yeah, women are taught nothing about themselves. Some parents never have the period talk. Like, how is anyone supposed to know about PMDD? I need to make videos on it, spreading awareness. So I'm like, this is my job. This is my job. And I spent my day doing nothing, and all I did was exist. But that's enough, because it's not my fault, and it's not yours either if you are experiencing this. And please do more research. Talk to your primary care doctor if you suspect that you have this, or your psychiatrist, because it's so worth learning about. And you should communicate with your loved ones as well, so that you have compassion and patience around you during this heavy phase of your life. And I'm just so glad that I found out about it, even if it was the hard way. But yeah, I'm really thankful. So hopefully this either teaches you something more about it, or brings into awareness like that you might have it, because I surely didn't know. But yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. I love you so much. If you go through this, you're the strongest person ever, and I love you. If you go through worse, you're the strongest person ever. I love you. If you don't, you're the strongest person ever, and I love you. Period. You're incredible, okay? I love you so much, and we got this. Bye.